What up, Anthony?
Welcome to another episode of Jetstream. Welcome to another episode of Jetstream. After
do
week
it.
3, Jets improved to 2-1, and big victory against the Patriots. Jets win by a score of 24-3. I know we schedule these normally for Tuesdays, and we're here talking about it 5 days later. So I guess we'll kind of keep it short, but we can go into some of the details. I mean, the Jets defense was basically, came in prepared for the first time in a very long time. I guess what comments do you have about the game? I'll let you start.
Defense bowled out. They actually came in with a game plan, and they actually prevailed. For the first time in a very, very, very long time, I could say our coaching staff out-coached the other coaches. Stopping Stevenson, holding the Patriots, to 149 yards it was of total offense. Not to mention like 40 yards on the last drive by Drake May. Complete dominance. Loved Aaron Rodgers. He clicked on all cylinders. What was he, like 80% completion percentage? Something crazy like that.
Yeah.
He had 77%. Yeah, had eight different receivers. Running game was good. Everything was basically perfect layout. I loved it.
Yeah, I would say I agree with most of that. I mean, obviously the offense was on a roll, 400 yards of offense. It really looked like late in this game. Even early in this game, actually, like they just came out there with a passing mindset. I know they did rush for over 130 yards, but that wasn't. I mean, it really just came out there, and it looks like they just wanted to pick apart that Patriots defense. Felt like they could with the losses of Bentley in the middle of the Patriots defense. Felt like they could take advantage of that. But Rodgers just like operated this offense like we've never seen a quarterback do in a really long time, if ever. Looked like they were trying to force it down the end of the game to try and get him over 300 yards. Didn't happen, unfortunately. But even like their situational football, 66% on third down. They were strong in the red zone, obviously scoring multiple touchdowns there. It was just an overall good game. I mean, there's not many players or really anything you can say about this game going negative. Maybe the biggest negative would be a missed kick by Zerline, which should have just been like an easy kick, whatever. But yeah, this offense came to play, 7 sacks. The offense operated 70 plays, which Rodgers said he wanted this offense to be around 60 plays compared to what they had in the first few games. That's like a big time win there. And the Jets just took care of business. They beat a team that they were supposed to beat, and they beat them convincingly. And that's something that this coaching staff has failed to do in their first couple of years. So good change of pace here. Being a team, and Patriots don't keep them alive at all. Any particular? I think for me, like on this game, something that really came out to me, and I talked about it last time. But Rodgers on that one touchdown to Garrett Wilson, I think that was probably I think Aaron Rodgers saw the frustration in Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson was obviously frustrated with the way that he's been played the first 3 games. He's been blanketed by 2 or 3 guys, it seems like, on a routine basis. And obviously teams are trying to take him away on the outside, which opens things up, obviously, for guys like Conklin in the middle who had over 90 yards receiving. But the obvious frustration in Garrett Wilson was something I think Aaron Rodgers was able to identify, and getting him that touchdown, albeit just a short pass, easy completion. Well, not easy completion for most, but for Aaron Rodgers to sling it in there in the corner, dangerous throw. Could have easily been a pick 6 the other way too. But forcing it in there just to give Garrett Wilson that feel good of, maybe this turns things around, because he's been a player who's gotten 1,000 yards each of the first 2 years, but not many touchdowns. Maybe that kind of like bulks him up a little bit, gets him excited as we kind of go down this stretch here. Big few games coming up, moving out to this. But yeah, I just think there's, we could talk about this game for hours and hours and hours about how great this offense played, how great this defense played. It was even special teams overall. I mean, it was control from start to finish, and New England just had nothing. I mean, there's nothing. And even the blitz packages, actually, like that's something I think that was a little more interesting from this defense. Defense that just usually sits back and kind of gives you, the time you need, just dink and dunk and dink and dunk, and eventually they're hoping you make a mistake. That wasn't the case here. They didn't want to get into that situation at all. Patriots, the only opportunity they had, like on the other side of the field, I felt was that one pass interference early in the game by DJ Reed. Other than that, it was just pure dominance by this team. It just,
it definitely was
the most complete game that we've seen. Oh, we got Dean making a comeback here. He was here a couple weeks ago. In that, here's stuff. Your Rodgers to our tight ends, 8 passes, 7 completions, 6 first downs, and the 7th was a 9 yards on the 1st and 10. I mean, yeah, I think that was probably a huge thing here because I felt the first couple of games Jets stayed away from really hitting the tight ends. I think Conklin had like a combined maybe 4 or 5 catches the first couple, or maybe not even that. The first
that.
2
he
games,
had 1 catch for 3 yards, like 2 catches, like in 2 games. This was definitely a breakout game for the tight ends for sure.
Yeah. And I think that's got a lot to do with what we mentioned earlier with Garrett Wilson being just left alone on the outside. If you're going to leave him alone, or leave him covered on the outside, it's going to leave everybody else alone in the middle. The running backs got a lot of touches in the passing game. The tight ends, even Mike Williams got involved a little bit. Like to see him kind of increase his role a little bit more as things kind of progress. But obviously, he's working his way back from an ACL. I think even Gibson had a catch. It was really just everybody. Lazard was a beast in the first quarter in this game with those 3 catches and the touchdown. So, yeah, overall, I mean, this offense just kind of operated in a smooth way. Braylon Allen just continues to impress. I mean, he's a guy that just, as good as he's been, he just continues to impress. Anytime he touches the ball, even if it looks like it's a tackle in the backfield, he gets to the line of scrimmage or gains a yard. I think there was a play. I forget who was coming for the tackle. I remember the other day, but he was stopped 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He just kind of lowered his shoulder and fell forward, and I thought he was at the line of scrimmage. They called it 2nd and 9 on the TV. So like it's a good thing to have, especially when you have Breece Hall, who's a guy who can take it to the house at any given play. The Jets need somebody. They needed somebody last year like this, somebody that can kind of control, those short yardage situations. Would like to see Braylon Allen get a little bit more of those like goal line touches. I know they gave that touchdown to Breece. I feel like that's a situation where Braylon Allen maybe is going to get a little bit more attention, especially as we kind of proceed. But yeah, I think Braylon Allen's just been a pleasant surprise. I mean, I know he showed sparks in preseason, but it's awesome to see it actually coming to fruition when he's going up against the big boys.
Yeah, especially the way he hits that hole. He plows right through it. Goal line situations are made for him, man. Just give him the ball,
So what do you think about this? Dane with another chat. And if it comes up, finally. There you go. Do you think that Tyler Conklin shut up the Barrels boys?
Yeah, he did. You know what? We have Fashanu, and we needed Fashanu this week. So, that was
I think that's
the right pick there. That's all I got to say. It worked out right.
It turned out to be. I mean, I personally wanted the Jets to be a little more aggressive, try and get into top 10, like earlier in the top 10, try and get one of the receivers. I mean, I feel like that's probably the biggest thing because you look at it now, what the Jets really need is somebody to kind of clear things up for Garrett Wilson. Maybe that comes in a few weeks. Maybe that comes down the road. But they did the right thing. I mean, Bowers is definitely an option there, but after the shit we went through last year with this offensive line, you need to make sure that there's every contingency in place to make sure that does not happen again, and that's what they did.
Agreed.
Guess we'll continue going here with this game. No, we said we make it short, but there was just too much to talk about with this game. Defensively, I mean, Will McDonald just doesn't want to stop. He's actually second in the NFL. Now that we're through the first 2-3 weeks of games, he's second in the NFL, just behind. What was that?
Just 3 games. 5.5
3 games into the season. Actually, they took away half a sack. He's only at 5.
Oh,
They originally said it was 2.5 in that game, so they credited somebody else with the sack apparently.
Hey, he's got 5 sacks,
2 sacks in this game.
I'll sign up for that.
Yeah, we'll see how it progresses. Teams are probably going to get a little more. He's the only pass rusher teams are really going to fear primarily. So obviously they're going to start looking his way, chipping him. How does he handle that as we kind of progress in the season? But yeah, I think he handled this game really well. The Tennessee game, obviously, he was awesome as well. But yeah, this Patriots offense, I mean, it's just like disgusting what we saw in this game. This is typical what we saw at Zach Wilson in our history.
This is our offense the past 3 years.
140 yards of offense, 60 yards passing, 78 yards rushing. I don't even know where the 78 yards rushing came from. I think that's I don't know where they got any yards. I know that Stevenson had like one big run, but it was called back for the face mask.
Face mask, right?
But yeah, there was just really nothing. The last drive they went for 3 for 4th down, so that's a bright sign for the Patriots. But yeah, the Jets also got a couple of sacks on that last drive too in garbage time, so I'll give them that. And then if you want to give any flaw to what the Jets did in this game, I would say the penalties. 8 for 106. That's the only reason the Patriots scored any points. The penalties, the pass interference downfield. DJ Reed, I like DJ Reed and all. He's a great player, but I just feel like he has a tendency sometimes to let the guy get behind him. We saw it last year against Miami. Jalen Waddle went behind him. Obviously it's going to happen from time to time. I just feel like he has a little bit more of a tendency to have that happen to him. So I'd like to see him get a little bit more, maybe a little more depth. But Jalen Waddle's an elite receiver. But it shouldn't have happened in this last game. And if it did happen, he should have had better coverage. Maybe he's just ailing from this injury that he kind of got. Nagging him in the last couple of weeks. Hopefully that's the case. Hopefully.
The one thing I want them to clean up is this is 2 weeks straight. It happened in Tennessee, then it happened in the Patriots game. In the second half, those timeouts getting burnt because of the clock rolling out again. That happened again this week.
Yeah.
They need to work on that because there's going to be games where you're playing like Baltimore, you're playing Pittsburgh. You're going to need them timeouts in the in the fourth quarter. To burn them so early, man, not good. They need to clean that up.
I agree with that, and I'm not sure if you saw what Saleh said about that or not, but he kind of alluded to the fact that like it just is what it is. Having Rodgers as your quarterback is kind of I forget his exact verbiage, so don't quote me on anything, but he did say something along the lines of like it's known that it's an issue, but there's not much you can do about it. Aaron Rodgers is going to go to the line of scrimmage, and he's going to look at this defense and see what they're doing from 5 seconds to 1 second. Because that's usually when defenses know you're about to snap it. They're going to adjust right then and there and whatever have you. So I think I didn't really like that answer. Like, you're not going to tell Rodgers like how to operate the offense, but in the same sense, you can't be wasting timeouts. They lucked out in the Tennessee game.
Sometimes, man, if you have to,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I get
you don't want to be giving away 5 yards either.
Yeah, no, I get it. It depends on the situation, right? If you're like 3rd and 14, I'll take the 5 yards. I'm not, shoot.
Yeah, but then you're basically forcing yourself to punt there. That's, 3rd and 14 is punting situation likely anyway, but 3rd and 19 is, your percentage goes down on that as well. It's definitely a weird situation. It's got to get corrected, and I think it will. I don't think it's going to be an issue every game, but it's a situation that we took advantage of teams that are lower than us. But once you start getting into these like later games, you can't do that against Buffalo. Let's put that out there. You cannot be burning timeouts. Buffalo will take advantage of that. Their running game is strong this year. They looked outstanding these last few games. When a lot of people kind of count them out because of the loss of Diggs.
Yeah,
they are. Yeah, for sure. But anybody who thought that they weren't, was kind of just. It's like the Patriots for like all those years. Like every year that everyone's like, oh no, this is it. They lost this guy. They lost that guy, and they just kind of completely next man up mentality there. But yeah, I think that's more or less the areas of concern. And yeah, you can't burn timeouts. They lucked out against Tennessee. Late in the game, it was second and long. He hit Mike Williams for a first down. But if he doesn't hit that first down, you're punting to Tennessee with 6 minutes left, and it's probably a situation where they get into field goal range and burn out the clock, and you never touch the ball again. Luckily, we didn't see that situation, but these are things that Saleh's got to be prepared for. You cannot go into the fourth quarter with one timeout in your pocket.
No.
You can when it's 24-3. You can't if it's 17-17. So
exactly.
Anywho's, but that's all we got for this Patriots game. Unless there's anything else you want to add, it was just complete onslaught. That's really all we can say about that.
I think we nailed almost everything there, right?
I think so. Before we get into the Broncos game, I guess we touch on. I didn't want to talk about this guy today. I thought this would be a feel-good week. Don't have to worry about talking about this freaking guy. He doesn't want to be here. Why the hell should we talk about him? But unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers has given us the ammunition to have to talk about Hassan Reddick for a little bit. So Aaron Rodgers was on the Pat McAfee show today, and Pat McAfee brought up an athletic article that basically kind of belittled the Jets.
And he was a cancer in the locker room.
No, it wasn't against that. It was talking about the culture of the team, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And just wanted to get Aaron Rodgers' take on that. And Aaron Rodgers kind of shrugged it off, said he didn't read it, said it's not true. The culture's strong here, so on and so forth. But then did end it with a little quote here that has kind of drawn the eyes of a lot of people. He said that article was most likely written by Hassan Reddick's agent, and then paused. That, well, I guess former agent, I guess probably. Now, I don't know if this is just him, like kind of. I mean, what's your take on it first? I guess I would kind of like dissect this a little bit.
So the only thing so when I first heard about it, I was saying to myself, okay, this is interesting. Is this like the way for Hassan Reddick to say, hey, it was my agent's fault. I'm coming now. Let's go. Because he should do that now. Am I right? If that's what he's looking to do, But when he said that, I'm saying to myself, all right, more news for the week, but we'll see what happens. I mean, he needs to come now, but, we need him. We definitely do need him. We definitely need that other side.
Definitely need him. So I guess this could be taken in two ways. One, Hassan Reddick could have fired his agent because of bad advice and
$9 million.
$9 million, obviously. Like the only way he gets his money back is if he signs a contract for $25 million a year, assuming he comes back today. Which doesn't seem likely. So he's not going to see that money from his original contract unless the Jets kind of go above and beyond, which, from all accounts, seems like that's not the direction that they're willing to go. Option two, his agent could have informed him that you need to show up because they're not budging. And the only way that anything's going to happen is if you show up. And he may have not liked that response and fired him.
That's why he fired him.
So, I mean, I guess you could really...
We'll find out in the next couple of days or so. If he don't show up, then that's what it was.
Or it could be option three, and Aaron Rodgers could have seen how much money Hassan Reddick has lost and said, what the hell is wrong with this guy's agent? He should probably not be his agent. It can really go so many different directions.
Or if he was my agent, I'd fire his ass.
Oh, my God. I mean, I wish I had the problems to just let $9 million just walk out of my pocket for no reason. Just not show up to work because I don't want $9 million. Oh, my God.
I don't know. I'm just waiting for that.
Big money problems, bro. The millionaires versus the billionaires on that one.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, I just had to bring that up. Like I said, I didn't want to talk about this guy this week. It's all feel-good shit, and this guy's got to be the only negativity surrounding the team right now. And didn't want to talk about it, but here we are, talk about it anyway. But
hopefully on the next podcast, we'll talk about he's finally here. Boom.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
I still have reservations. Just nothing seems promising in that department. There's no. Usually, you would hear like the Jets have opened the door for a conversation with. You're not even hearing that crap. Like, there's nothing. There's just literally, like, I don't know if they're even like.
Well,
I understand that, but even the agents, Yeah, but usually stuff leaks out from the agents too. Like
true.
even in a situation like this, like the agents would usually want things in a certain way, want things in the press. There's nothing in the press at all. It just seems like one of those situations. They made the trade request and said whatever. They said no, so I guess we're just at where we're at. Anyway, but yeah, it's going to be a saga that just continues. I mean, if it ends soon, fine, but it just seems like that. I talked about it. It's a situation I think could possibly be he shows up week 10 and the Jets don't activate him, and that's just the nature of this. They let him walk at the end of the year and try and get that third round pick back if possible through comp, because no one's going to trade for him, because whoever trades for him has to trade draft capital, has to give him the contract, unless Jets kind of weasel out and just get, oh, here's a 5th round pick, take him, and he's yours. But I don't see that happening. Alrighty, so up next, the Hackett Bowl. The Denver Broncos will be another redemption story. Denver Broncos had, after an 0-2 start, came out to Tampa, and big surprise for me personally. I thought that Tampa was going to win this game, especially being at home. But Denver came out firing all cylinders. Bo Nix looks pretty solid. If you told me right now who's the top quarterback from this last draft class, I think you probably say he's second best right now, just based off of the early indications. And plus, we haven't seen, 3 of them so far. So still, obviously, plenty of time before that story is untold. But, I mean, 260 yards passing, no turnovers, a rushing touchdown, 47 yards. This offense kind of operated in a strong way. They held Tampa Bay's offense in check, and Tampa Bay's been pretty strong the first couple weeks of the season. So this isn't last year's Denver Broncos defense that gave up 70 points to the Dolphins, at least not in this last game, traveling and containing the Buccaneers offense as a whole. I think going into the week, probably felt like this is an easy win and still should be a win. But what concerns you the most going into the second week against the Broncos?
I mean, the only thing that's concerning me, it's just Sean Payton, like his coaching, like he can coach up. You know what I'm saying? I love the way he's a great coach. But I really don't think that Denver is going to do anything with us. They're coming to MetLife. The Jets played great at home. They're going to be on fire. Bo Nix is going to get rattled again. I just, I don't see it. This is a game I definitely don't see them losing. I'm not saying they're going to go out and win 45-3 or 45-10. I could see a game where it's like 27-17 type of game, close, but not super close. I think the Jets will have it the whole way, But I think it's payback. I know Rodgers is going to be pissed. He's playing for his boy. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. I do like the matchup.
Probably one of the bigger factors.
What happened?
I think that's going to be one of the bigger factors. I mean, Rodgers didn't get that chance last year against the Broncos, and we still ended up beating them with Zach Wilson calling the plays there. Operating the offense last year. So obviously you expect there to be a little bit of an increase, but this is also Sean Payton's second year with this team. Last year was just abysmal overall. There was a lot of it was a transition year. They definitely had a lot of room for growth based on just what we saw from them. But I think my biggest concern, and I still do think the Jets are going to come away with this win. I don't think it's going to be much of a contest there. But my concern is the mobility of Bo Nix. He's kind of matches like the quarterback that the Jets have struggled with under Saleh's team. A quarterback that's mobile, quarterback that operates in the flat, pretty consistent. I feel like the majority of Bo Nix's passes down last week were in the flat to Sutton. So I think this is a situation where I think, I don't think a rookie quarterback is beating this defense. I think they're going to force him into some mistakes. I think they're going to come with a similar game plan that they did for this last game against the Patriots. Because, again, you look on the outside and who really scares you. I mean, Cortland Sutton is really the only guy out there. I know Humphreys guy that followed Sean Payton over from the Saints, but he's no world beater. He can beat you. I mean, he can get behind you, but he's not a player you necessarily fear. So I think it's a situation where they come with a similar game plan, contain the run. Because if you can contain the run against Denver and make them one-dimensional, then you put Bo Nix in a situation. I think there might be some discomfort. I don't know how did Denver do in the ground last week. I'm just trying to pull it up now.
MetLife needs to be alive, man.
Yeah, 140 yards rushing last week, so they were pretty balanced overall. 200 to 130 yards rushing. If you keep that running game down like you did against the Patriots, operate with those blitz packages. I mean, that's a different type of defense there. I mean, if you can get Quincy Williams running downhill to stop the run instead of the way we operate where he's running sideline to sideline, trying to get behind the runner, I think this is like a situation that NFL offenses just aren't ready for. He's just way too fast. Sherwood looks solid in the middle. I kind of wonder what they're going to do once CJ Mosley comes back. Obviously, Mosley's a starter, but I mean, Sherwood looks too fast. I mean, he has his last couple of games.
Rotation.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you rotate bodies, but I mean, Mosley's the captain of his defense. He checks in and out of plays. He's operating this defense, but really hard to ignore the speed of Jamien Sherwood right now.
No, 100%. I mean, he's flying all over the place. It's a different defense. I mean, after watching that first game with the 49ers, I was already bashing. I mean, even myself was bashing the defense a little bit, like where are they? They can't stop the nosebleed. You know what I'm saying? They were running that ball down our throats. Week one, we got it. But I'll tell you, again, Salah and oh my gosh, Ulbrich adjusted on the fly, and they got this defense playing top notch, top level again.
I think that was probably like as concerning as it was that they got kind of smacked in the mouth against the 49ers. I think I was more optimistic that the problems were on the defensive side of the ball. Like if the offense came out that game and looked like shit, I would have had some concerns. Obviously, knowing what Hackett's history is these past few years, but seeing like Rodgers come out and having that one long touchdown drive, having the second one where he got the guy to jump and had a free play, scored the touchdown there. Just seeing those things that we wanted to see out of Rodgers, like knowing that we saw those things and knowing that is still in his game. I mean, figured it was still there, but actually seeing it in a live game situation. I didn't have much concerns after the 49ers game. Obviously, keep an eye on what this defensive line's doing, because obviously with Hassan Reddick out, lost on the defensive line from JFM to Bryce Huff, so on and so forth. Obviously, I didn't ignore the fact that they gave up however many rushing yards to the 49ers, but I wasn't as concerned that they weren't going to correct it. I figured this defensive coaching staff was going to figure it out, because they've shown us, we saw what they were in year 1 to year 2. They were a top 5 unit. They went from bottom of the league to one of the tops in the league. I knew that they'd get it corrected. But yeah, it's been a quick turnaround for sure. Going from 30 points to 17 to 3 points in the span of a few weeks.
And hopefully another 3-point performance.
It would be nice. Get these. But trying to pull up something here.
What are you thinking about final score in this game?
I think the Jets dominate again. I mean, Aaron Rodgers talking about like we got to reach that point where we're dominating teams, and this is a team you look to dominate. I'll get Denver a touchdown somewhere.
You think maybe you think maybe we rest AVT and Brees this game, or what?
Rest AVT and Brees? Why was because of the injuries?
I know it happened the last two times.
I didn't know if like there was. I didn't know if like one of them popped up on the injury report or some shit like that.
No.
Happened? Like,
no, that was in Denver. That happened twice, but it was in Denver. AVT went twice in Denver and lost his.
AVT twice in Denver.
And Brees
AVT
that first
twice
year.
in Denver, and then Brees Hall, tore the ACL the first year. Yeah. Let's hope AVT gets out of this game alive, man. I just
for sure.
Cannot.
Did you see
he's looked dominant, man. He's looked really good.
Did you watch that all 22? The all 22 that Ryan from Jets Talk put out on Olu Fushanu.
I watched the all 22. It's a small sample size. But yeah, like 8 plays, 9 plays.
He impressed though.
What I'll say about that, it's impressive to see it operating on film for sure. But when a team prepares for different players different ways, nobody really knows what Fashanu is yet. This week, you look how strong Tyron Smith's been the first few games. I know he had a little bit of gave up a couple sacks this last game, so not his brightest performance, but hopefully that comes down to just that short compressed schedule, 3 games in 11 days. Maybe that has something to do with him just not having the best of games. That usually hits offensive linemen a little bit harder than it hits like other players. Not saying that they don't all feel the effects as well, but offensive line is it's a bitch to play. So when you're kind of going at it, 70 plays a game, 60 plays a game, 50 plays a game, it's a lot for an offensive lineman to turn around 4 days later and do it all over again.
No, that's for sure.
So, not too worried there. But, Morgan Moses going down, that's a tough one for sure. Luckily he's only out for 2 to 4 weeks is what the reports are saying right now.
2 to 4 weeks, the last I've seen.
Yeah, that's the reports. That's it came out I think on Friday initially, or not Friday. I think it came out like Saturday initially, and then Sunday, the big honchos, Schefter, Garofalo, they all reported the same thing. So that's a diagnosis there. But that's why you draft an offensive lineman when you don't really need him, because at some point you will need him, especially with what we saw last year. So awesome to see that he came in there and didn't give us a reason to be alarmed, because that was his job. Go in there and just right the ship, keep things going.
Take care of business. Keep Aaron Rodgers vertical.
And he looked solid in the preseason too. So there's a lot to be proud of from what we've seen from him so far, and a lot to be optimistic about. But I just want to see it live game where team's game plan. Does he still operate the same way? Has he handled stunts? He's working with AVT for the first time, because I think AVT didn't play at all in the preseason, so it was all him with backups. He did play left and right, and he played well on both sides. So better at left than right, but regardless, I think he's shown enough to show that he is strong at both spots. So we'll see. Live game for the first time against Denver. We'll see what Denver tries to do to attack him, because I think that is the spot that you look to attack, if anything, that right side, and see what happens.
Yeah, hopefully puts it together, has another solid performance. That would be nice.
Yeah, I agree there. So I guess probably going into this game, looking at matchups wise, and we already talked about the Denver offense. Feel bad for Garrett Wilson, man. He's getting another tough task.
He's got Surtain this week, right?
Yep, Pat Surtain this time around. And Surtain travels, so he's going to travel everywhere that Garrett Wilson goes for the duration of this game. I feel bad.
Hey, man, listen.
It's going to be another game with minimal touches.
Listen,
but
Garrett,
it's going to open things up for everybody else.
That's one thing. But Garrett, hey, listen. He wants to ball out. This is a chance. You beat Surtain and ball out. Let's go. It's hard. I know. It's not easy.
Surtain's Surtain,
like
you can argue. A lot of people will argue. A lot of people will argue 1 and 2 Sauce Gardner.
No, I know.
But Surtain wears number 2. Sauce wears number 1 for a reason. That's what I'll say.
There you go.
I didn't pick his number for him.
I know what you're saying.
Jeez. Yeah. So I don't know. I think this is a game that Jets kind of just control it, take care of it.
Hit the tight ends again. Lazard, another big game. Maybe Michael Williams get some catches, maybe 7-8 catches this game. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
You're starting to run really good out there.
Mike Williams?
Yeah.
It would be nice. So we need to recap our predictions from last week a little bit here.
Oh, yes.
So we both so I'm not going to take – all right. I will not take the win for the Vikings thing, even though, like, the only reason I picked the Vikings was because I wanted some differentiation. So I will take the L for that one.
All right.
So we both picked the same games. We picked Titans to win, and that turned out to be a disaster. We both picked the Texans to win. That turned out to be a disaster. And we both
got one right.
I'd much rather get that one right and get the other ones wrong every single week.
Sure.
So we didn't prepare for this one this week. So I'm gonna pick a game. You can pick a game. We'll go against the spread and give me your ideas as to why you think that game's going to go in that direction. And then obviously we'll have to pick the Jet game, who we decide is going to win that game as well. So I'll let you go first as far as which game you want to pick.
I'll take a look. Hold on one sec. Let's see what's going on.
You can pick a game. I mean, if you're looking at a,
I'll go on Hard Rock.
Whatever. That's what I'm doing too. But
go on NFL. All right, so the game I'm going to pick. Oh, dare I pick Carolina over Cincy, right? All right, I already got my pick. Dallas.
So which game are you picking?
Dallas Giants, Thursday night. Dallas.
So you're going
Dallas is going to destroy them.
You think so?
Oh yeah. I mean, all right. Destroy. They're going to win by 2 scores.
Okay, so you have them covering.
Yeah, 100%. What are they? 4.5?
So actually,
4.5?
5.5.
Oh, 5.5.
But you said 2 scores, so both are fine.
Yeah.
So so we'll start things off here. I actually am differentiating from you on this for real.
Okay.
I don't know. What we saw at Dallas these first couple of weeks, that run defense has just been abysmal. I think Dallas had a very weird offseason. For a team that shows every indication of being all in when you look at the roster and just go into the offseason, and there really was no movement. They did sign CeeDee Lamb, gave him a big contract. They obviously gave Dak the new extension as well, the day of the season opener. So obviously there are those situations that kind of prevent you from being able to lash out and sign other players. But again, when you're a team like Dallas and you're trying to win a Super Bowl and your window's like I wouldn't say it's closing, but you have a head coach on the hot seat. There's a lot of stuff going on with Dallas, and the way that they're coming out these games, just getting beat down in the run game. And Giants actually, for as bad as they've been, Singletary's been pretty solid as a running back in the first few games of the season. So I think the Giants kind of take this as an opportunity to really take advantage. Even the secondary for Dallas has not been strong. It's really just been a really poor defense overall. Not saying Michael Parsons has been non-existent because he had a really strong week 1. But yeah, Dallas is, I don't know. I can't pick Dallas here, especially on a short week following what just happened. I'm going Giants on this one. I don't know if the Giants win. I do think the Giants can win. Especially, at some point they got to win, right? I think they're on some crazy losing streak with Dallas.
Did they win?
Huh?
Oh, against Dallas? Oh, you mean like the
they're on
like
some
the Patriots streak?
Nah, I don't know if it's that bad. I just know they're on a bad losing streak with Dallas.
You know what it is? It's just every time
I think Dallas and Philly, like they're on big.
Every time Dallas comes out, like, and everybody's like, "Oh, they stink," blah 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 blah. Like the first game was great. Everybody thinks they're going to the Super Bowl. Then they come out 2 straight weeks and they flop. Then out of nowhere, here's a team that's going to put 50 points on you. But that's just the way Dallas is,
Yeah.
I just think
Dallas. It is the way they can be.
Plus, I got Prescott on my fantasy league, so I could use the points.
Well, yeah, of course. But I don't know. I guess I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna destroy. Other than
2
destroy the
scores.
Giants, that's why I think it's gonna happen. Two scores. You
Yeah,
take
10,
that.
10 points.
I think the Giants.
Keep it
I
closer.
take the Giants with the points on this one. Yeah, I think they keep it close.
You never
I think
know.
they can even pull it out. Like I said, I don't see a situation where the Giants can't pull it out. I mean, Malik Neighbors looks legit. I mean, he's solid. I
Yeah,
thought
he
he was
is.
amazing
I
for that
think he's. I
draft, and
mean, he's looking like the number 1 receiver in this draft. You know.
the biggest question is which Daniel Jones do you get? Do you get the stick in the mud, or do you get the friggin'?
That's what's going to come down to
guy
in
who
this game.
delivers the passes. The guy played against Minnesota a couple of years ago. I mean, that's the guy they really need to start seeing a little bit more of, or else this is going to be his last year with the Giants. As long as they get that injury guarantee nullified or whatever, it's a very possible situation. Daniel Jones could be quarterbacking somewhere else next year. Alrighty, so you got Dallas, I got Giants. So both went 1 and 2 last week. Hope for something better this year. I was going to pick that same game, so now I'm going to try and deviate to something different. I think I found it. Yeah, I like this one. Minnesota at Green Bay. Green Bay is favored by 2.5 points. So it's a field goal spread. So you went first last time, so I'll take this one. Well, this one's tough because we don't know if Jordan Love is playing. I think Jordan Love's playing. They said there was a possibility he could play last week. So with that spread 2.5, I would assume that he is playing. So I'm going to go with Green Bay in this one. They've looked strong these last few weeks, even without Jordan Love. That first game against Eagles was just – that field was terrible. They weren't the right team. And they definitely had the opportunity to come back and win that game too. If it wasn't for Love getting injured late in the game on that very last drive, I think he got the ball in midfield. So they were in a situation where something was possible, but also kind of improbable based on what happened. The Brazil game, that was just, everything about that game was just so stupid. How do you open the season with neither team having a home game? I mean, that's just odd to me. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to grow the game a little bit. Get these.
Why are they thinking about getting an NFL team in Brazil?
No, they're just trying to grow the fan base to different countries. They do games in Germany every year. They do games in Mexico City.
We got one coming up in England next week, my friend.
Yep, England. Aren't they? I don't know. Did they do one in Madrid, or are they talking about? I think they.
They haven't done one in Spain yet. I think they did last year. Yeah. They did. Wait, did they do one in Spain last year? I think they did.
I know.
Germany last year.
I heard they were going to. I just don't feel like they. What was that?
I think they did it in Germany last year.
Yeah, Germany. They did Munich for sure, and I think they're doing Germany again this year.
Yeah. They are. I mean, I don't mind it.
Sure.
Not when my team plays. I don't like when my team plays that 9:00 game though.
I like it. I like it in the middle of the year. I mean, if you're going to go to 18 games and you tell me you want to have two games be in neutral sites like international, I don't care. That's fine. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, MLB's doing it with like their like the Field of Dreams game. They did something a couple years ago with they did a Field of Dreams and they did another one in like I forget, like Kansas or some shit. I mean, whatever. You play 162 games. If you want to play 2 games in the middle of nowhere, who cares?
Go for it. It'd be like a complete series there, like 3 games or something, you know?
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I don't mind it. If you're playing 18 games and you just want to grow the brand a little bit, grow an international fan base, because a lot of teams do have big fan bases in different countries. I know the Jets have a huge United Kingdom fan base, Ireland. They do have big fan bases out there, so I don't have a problem if they want to have a couple of games out there. But opening game, like that drives the tone of your season. You know what I mean? Like if you really think about how you come out week 1, it doesn't define your season, but how do you come out of the gate to come out in a game like that when the field conditions were terrible, pass rushers couldn't do shit. I thought that was the reason Bryce Huff was having a bad start to the season, but apparently.
Nah, man, 3 games in, man, this guy is a ghost. Yeah. I think he's like, I don't even think he has a stat line yet. Does he even have a stat?
He has a tackle.
Oh, he has a tackle? One? Nice.
One combined tackle. I think it was an assisted tackle too. I forget. But yeah, that's a weird one. And that's, I mean, if anything, like if Aaron Whitecotton like wants any sort of like reasoning for teams to believe he can be a defensive coordinator, and if Bryce Huff continues down this path of not being, just being nothing as a pass rusher or a player at all,
dude, he got coached up. Situational. Yeah. He was in 50% of our plays, 51% of our plays last year.
Yeah, but that number is kind of deviated though. That's only because they didn't play him at all in the first like 4 games, and then all of a sudden against friggin' what was it, against Kansas City? Was it the Kansas City game that his snaps all of a sudden like got sparked up because they realized, oh, this guy's actually pretty good at pass rushing. So I think at that point it went up to like close to 60%.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, it was just a very small percentage the first couple of weeks, and then it kind of blew up there. So yeah,
he got paid. It's over, man. The guy got paid, so it's it.
Yeah, would have been nice if it was us. I still don't think that what you're seeing right now is him. I think this coaching staff knew his strengths and knew what he was able to do, and unfortunately went to Philly and
tried to figure it out.
Him. Yeah, it's up to them now. So yeah, I got Green Bay going in this one. Jordan Love does play this game. I think at 2.5, being at home, it's a win there. I'll let you take the reins now.
I think I'll take Green Bay too. I do like Green Bay in this game. 2 reasons. I think Sammy Boy has got to chill out a little bit before he comes to play the Jets.
And not to mention one last good game. Don't you want to have one last good game so you can cool off against us?
Yeah, not true. I just think that Green Bay is you're right. I think you hit it right on the head. They figure out a way to win 2 games without Jordan Love. I mean, for that team, that coaching staff is amazing there, by the way. That's another great coaching staff. But I do think they're a dominant team, and they're only going to get better. And I do like Jordan Love a lot. I think that I think they win this game. I think it's going to be a real close game, though. I think it's going to be like a 23-20 game, 27-24 game. I think both quarterbacks will play well. I think they run the ball well, both teams. I just think it's going to be one of those nail-biting last-minute field goals to win the game. And I think Green Bay should win at home,
So, I know I already mentioned it, but Green Bay's defense looks like they're humming, man. I mean, McKinney I think he has like 2 interceptions, 3 interceptions already on the season. He had an interception in the opening game in Brazil. We talked about that already. He had one last week. I don't know if he had one in week 2 or not. He's solid out there. Van Ness looks solid. He's just kind of has that build of Karlaftis, if not a little bit taller than Karlaftis from Kansas City. He looks solid. I mean, Green Bay, after Rodgers left, they've made a point that, we've had a lot of money invested in the quarterback, and now we have Jordan Love here, and not enough. We're not putting money into him at the moment. Let's invest in, and they did pay him. I know this offseason. He got paid, but that's quarterback contracts. Those kind of linger out for a few years because they have that window now. But yeah, they took care of this defense and these offensive skill players. I mean, there's nobody that like jumps out at you. They just draft players in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th rounds every single year and have role players that just do something right, and that's what that guy does all the time. Watson looks pretty solid. I think this was his first game back, and he looked okay with Malik Willis there. Nonetheless, Malik Willis got thrown to the curb by Tennessee, who has a problem with quarterback themselves. Yeah, Tennessee is just. I mean, I love going to Tennessee, but that quarterback is terrible. But yeah, so I think that's a differentiator. I think both offenses can operate, but I think the Packers defense might just have the edge against what Minnesota's defense should be able to do against Green Bay. Maybe there's a little rust from Jordan Love for missing the last couple of games potentially, but I mean, he looked okay. He looked solid in that opener, so I don't think 2 weeks of missing game action is going to have a huge effect. Might be a little bit of rust, but I don't think it'll be enough to slow him down. And then for the moment of truth, the Jets game, which currently stands on Hard Rock at 7.5.
Oh, it's 7. It went up?
Let you take the reins on this one.
7.5
That's what
points.
I've seen it at on Hard Rock the whole time. I think starting out
7.5 point spread. Let me see here. I think you're right, though.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah, you're right. It is 7.5. I want to tease it now. I'm kidding. I think the Jets will cover this game. I think they're going to come out. I think they're going to actually run the ball down their throats this time. I think you're going to see a double deuce of Brees and Braylon Allen running up their throats. I mean, because Brees had 2 great games against this team. You do realize that too, right? Even the game he went out on, he busted them, and then last year he busted them too. He's going to bust them again today. I mean, on Sunday. So I think he has a great rushing game. I think he finally gets over the century mark in that game. I think Braylon Allen will have a good game. I think we find the end zone 4 times and win this game 34-13. That's my prediction. Jets, of course.
4 touchdowns.
Yes.
4 touchdowns. How do you deviate that rushing versus passing?
I think we get 2-2. 22. I think Garrett hits the end zone and Conklin hits the end zone, and Brees gets in twice.
So I saw.
Well, how about Aaron Rodgers scrambles for a 99-yard touchdown?
No, I saw something. Oh my god, it's such a disgusting stat. I saw a stat the other day. The Jets have 9 touchdowns through 3 games.
Oh my gosh, yeah. They had it in week 11. I got a sick stat for you. You know what I seen the other day too? Did you know that last week's game was the first time Aaron Rodgers threw to a first-round draft pick wide receiver for a touchdown?
Yeah, the only other player what was the tight end? Mercedes Lewis or something? No, not Lewis. Who was it?
It was Mercedes Lewis. Yeah, the tight end.
Yeah.
I did. Devontae wasn't a first rounder.
No, I think he was a second or third rounder. I think he was second.
That stat is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right or wrong?
Well, that's what the Packers do. They don't
that reminds me of what Tom Brady probably did his whole career, but he got Randy Moss in his career. You know what I'm saying? He got Randy Moss in there. I don't know. That's just a stat that I was like, what? He threw for almost 400 touchdowns or something like that.
That's what those teams do. Like you look at teams like the Steelers, Green Bay. They build on offensive line, defensive line, Steelers linebackers. It's really all about like that. Kind of. It's all about building the trenches.
Everything a lot easier. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but you still need decent weapons out there. I mean,
you do.
Yeah, quarterbacks make receivers better. Like you see Lazard as a perfect example of what a bad quarterback does to maybe like an average or below average, whatever you want to call Lazard.
I'm actually impressed with him these first 3 weeks. I'm happy. I'm happy he found his mojo, I guess.
He didn't have a huge hill to climb to impress us.
Hold on. The first pass of the game when he dropped it on week 1 against San Fran, remember that? I was like, oh, here we go again. But then since that point, he's been money.
Yeah, he's been. What's he have already? 3 touchdowns on the year. 4
touchdowns. Yeah, 3.
He had 2 the first game. Yeah, so 3.
Yeah, 3 total touchdowns.
I mean, strong start to the season. So yeah, we already talked about this. Obviously, our predictions for this game. You have the Jets winning. I have the Jets winning. I think they're going to win by a couple touchdowns. So have them covering for sure. However, let's throw this one a little curveball because can't say the Jets are going to win every week. That's just, basically no point to this pick. Over or under? Let's hit that one as well. 38.5 points.
38. I think it's my prediction was what did I say? 21. So 28 and 6, 30. Going over.
You're going over?
38.5 is low.
Yeah. I said when we were talking about this before, I said 24-10, 24-7, somewhere around there.
It's right there, man.
And it is right there, but it is right there. But I mean,
I just think it's a revenge game, man. You don't think? I don't know, man. I think this time Aaron Rodgers is going to show up. He might throw. He's going to throw a 300-yard game too. How about that?
We got the Jets scoring 4 touchdowns. You almost have them hitting the over just by themselves.
That's what I'm saying, dude. They're going to have like 7-8 drives, and they're going to score on 6 of them. 4 touchdowns, 2 field goals. That's what I'm predicting.
We'll see how it comes out. I do think they're going to win big. I just think, I don't know if the Jets' offense is there yet.
What about they get a pick 6? Oh boy, now we're talking about covering. Now we're talking about covering the over under ourselves. These are things that are going to happen.
It could happen. The last game went over. What was it? 31-21 against them. We won last year.
30. What was the score?
I think it was 31-21 last year.
Oh, 31-21.
Yeah, well, what's his face? What's his face had the who was it? Quincy Williams had a strip sack, and then Bryce Hall.
Ran
back to fumble for a touchdown.
Yes.
Hold on, let's say. I think it was 31-21 last year.
And it's gonna happen again, buddy. We're gonna take care of business, go to 3-1, and get ready for London.
So that's where we'll deviate. So we deviated on the first game with Dallas and the Giants, and we're deviating on the over/under. You have them going over. I have them going under.
Did you save it all?
You
figure it out. You remember.
Which? I'll write it down. We'll remember this. It's documented. No, there's no running from it. Exactly. There's no running from the truth.
Oh man!
So I'll write it down here. Hold on a second. Let me put my notes. You have Dallas. You have Green Bay. We won't even talk about the Green Bay one. That's already both picking the same thing. And you have over on Jets. And then I'll go with Giants and the under. So that's where we'll differentiate potentially. And yeah, I just confirmed. So 31-21 was the score last year. 52 points. 52 points last year.
We scored 31 points on them with Zach Wilson. Now we got Aaron Rodgers. You think we're going to go under? Get the hell out of here.
Brees Hall had 177 yards rushing last year.
I told you. They're going to do the same exact thing. Not to mention, it's a redemption game because I know that Aaron Rodgers wasn't too happy with what he said last was it 2 years ago he said that? Or last year?
No, it was last year. Last year.
Now he's going to say, okay, you want to talk about my boys? Here we go.
Yep. We'll see how it goes. Anyway. All right, that's all we got here. Any sign off thoughts you got over here?
Nothing. Just let's go Jets. Let's go up to 3-1, and let's go Mets tonight. Big game. Yeah, big series.
I've been kind of eyeballing this game a little bit here. Yeah,
0-0, third inning, right?
Still 0-0, top of the third.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, nice. With you, let's go Jets, let's go Mets, and it's improved 3-1.
Yeah, see you next Tuesday.